focus
Yes,
to do
I'm
it
with
in
you.
the first round.
B1 Alistar is a bit aggressive, but wow.
They sniffed it
okay,
out.
good call. I mean, now Talia. Like, where's the scout Talia? Where's the... You have Aurora off the table. Rise is gone. Okay, Rumble's up. So it's going to be Rumble for Xiaoxu, but that does put them on a timer. I mean, if I'm Flandre, take away the Cassante. Let's say this one goes 4 or 5. That's such a big pick for Xiaoxu. And some of the other good Rumble matchups are off the board. You still have Ornn up, but take that Cassante away.
I mean, I love the Jarvan pickup here from Tarzan. That Anyone's Legend, understanding that that is one of Shun's historical best picks, and that is the 1-2
They're asking to get
hot
Kindred.
combo, now completely taken away. Now JDG.
Kindred's a bad pairing with Rumble, but I like Kindred in the Sivir Jarvan. So I'm wondering if that ends up being like Shun going to comfort there. Also, I mean, could just take Sejuani, take the handshake, try and play for that early game instead. Gonna be the Vi. I don't love that. You get the chance to play in the Sivir. You gotta smite the spell shield if you want to go in, right?
Yep.
Definitely have to play around with that timer. I expect Shun to be on point with that. But Talia, the J4 can punish Talia. And I see 2 immobile carries right now with Jarvan already on my screen. And I think that AL can continue to play for that identity. I know I was saying Cassante earlier on. Ornn can help further punish flashes being down and give you some more of that scaling. I don't think that Talia Vi is quite enough damage to get through Ornn. They're going to have to find that through the bot lane, so you could slam it here or get a Karma if you want. You could try and go for picks, but no. Okay, going to be the Cassante, bit of a deny for Xiaoxu, and definitely one of the Flandre plays as well.
If I'm Anyone's Legend, I'm banning Ezreal and Lucian. Just get rid of 80 carries that give you mobility to escape the Cataclysm when Tarzan goes for the engage.
I would take Kai'Sa away.
Kai'Sa is also a good call.
Yeah, I would take Kai'Sa away.
Follows up with the dive composition identity that JDG has right now. I mean, this is a lot of dependency on finding a snowball already for JDG. I don't want to say there's absolutely no scaling, but I mean, you're staring at a Sivir on the other side of the rift here.
I mean, Talia can always do work. And definitely can get, I mean, like Sivir Spell Shield. I think Talia and the Rocks can actually play a really nice... You can play nicely around those. Like, it's kind of hard to Sivir sometimes. There's a lot of ways you can cancel Spell Shield if, like, you're trying to Spell Shield a Flick, which is what you want to Spell Shield as Sivir by playing around with those Qs. So, I expect to see Ahri and maybe an Akali take it away here from Shanks.
I would definitely be Akali.
I think Akali's a happy camper going to Rumble Talia Vi. And we saw the Kalista ban, which, I mean, what you highlighted, it was Ezreal. I highlighted Kai'Sa, and you had Lucian that you wanted to see taken away.
I mean, Kalista fits the bill, too. It's a champion that could escape a Cataclysm.
And
Zeri's also a decent champion pickup here for Anyone's Legend to at least ban, because you can skate the wall, and Anyone's Legend is lacking point-and-click lockdown, and that would have really forced Kael into picking something like, I don't know, a Maokai support. So they just don't even want to worry about it. They take that off the table. The Karma as a ban, nice to try and remove some lane priority from Kael.
I like that ban a lot, but I feel like you're just asking to have AL blind Braum now. And that's one of your better responses into Braum. Look, if you're going to get crazy, I think Jinx Lulu is actually, like, I know that you still have to go in the Jarvan there, but like find a double counter range bot lane. Like try and take advantage of that. If you play Kai'Sa, it gives you the dive into Sivir, but a lot of your good engage combos are gone. So I don't know what Zhuo's going to be able to play. I mean, you kind of have to Bard at this point, which I think is doable this game if he wants to play Bard.
Just trying to go down the list of engaged supports.
All the big ones are off.
Maokai from Zhuo?
You can get abused by Braum.
Sure.
I mean, I think Lulu is, like, unironically the best matchup into the Braum. But Kai'Sa Lulu is a eclectic lane, if we're going to be honest. Like, do you even I mean, does Polymorph actually proc Kai'Sa passive? That could be kind of nice, but... yeah, this is not what you're used to seeing.
How does Shanks tie this all together? Oh, boy.
That's good. It's good.
I mean, when we asked for point-and-click CC, what was left? Lissandra has risen as a later on fearless draft pick for a lot of teams here. I know Knight was one of the first people to bring it back to the fold here in Split 3.
Oh, hold on, Raafaa. I know that we have an overarching ban on talking about our flex queue experiences, but I've been a big List fan for a while, especially pairing up with something what you got.
I don't care about our flex games.
Let me explain.
Okay, fine.
Some of the theory, though, for this, I like the theory a lot, because you do have this point-and-click go button, but also, you know, Vi Talia. What are the champs that you can use to play defense against Vi Talia? That's like the Akali, the Sylas, the Ahri. Like, what gets out of the combo? This does that in a pretty creative way. And if you're good on the claws, you can actually sneak out of some of the flicks, so you can dodge out on the unraveled earth pretty much. And then you bring full lockdown for a champion that's kind of squishy. So I like Liss a lot. I like that we're seeing more of this. I think that she has a lot of value that was kind of being skipped out and forgotten about. Happy to see Knight bring her out. Happy to see Shanks now bring her out. Again, I think that sometimes, and later on in Fearless Draft, it's just good to have strong comp identities. And Lissandra is a very strong identity champion. It's about lockdown in early game. Also was an old counter into Rumble, so has a positive side lane matchup there too.
Oh yeah, the Lissandra top.
Think of like the Huni. The Huni Rumble versus Liss. Yeah, it's that meta.
Yeah. Huni and Soaz would often have that matchup as a trade back in, what was that, 2015? If I'm not mistaken.
I've been a fan for a long time, Raafaa.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't the Lissandra, I feel like the Swain would have made his appearance here, as that's another way to deal with the full-on dive. But here we go. This is match point on the line for Anyone's Legend as we hit game 3 between JDG and Anyone's Legend.
Electrocute on Shanks. Oh, we got Jayos. Sorry, I was getting excited. I want to talk about the game. Now, Shanks, Lissandra, boom, boom damage Lissandra. All about it. I think that Liss, like, unironically, I know in past metas, you would go, like, Abyssal Mask or Abyssal Scepter Rush. God, we're really going back. You would try and take something somewhat defensive because as Liss, you kind of lack out on the range. I think the Glass Cannon Lissandra is actually, like, very playable this game. Oh, everyone's so really, really, really squishy on this side of JDG. So I think Electrocute, like, just go full pedal to the metal as... Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Scout, please! Please! Anyone's Legend picks up first blood and the flash off a Scout.
On the bright side, I heard that there was a rumor that Clearlove might have removed Peyz's tab key going into this game. So that might actually really help JDG on this bot side. But, man, Scout flashes in a straight line. And that's a pretty big oopsie. I mean, Kael's still able to pick up this entire wave. Tarzan gets the camp. Shun is spotted at level 2.
Oh,
now Tarzan can hide.
Dude, Tarzan could totally own Shun in level 2.
He can. He wins. Yep.
Oh, no, Shun. Come on. I mean, Anyone's Legend are just getting everything handed to them. They are the ones setting up the plays, and JDG are just having terrible responses into the Pandas.
Shun's going to try and cross-map and take away some of Tarzan's camps. Tarzan actually is kind of misreading this. Look at the information now on Shun, who is on his side. Really curious how much Shanks wants to pressure here. He doesn't have level 3 yet. If he had level 3, I mean, he'd be able to get in there and really mess up the buy. But took the claw level 2, so can't really go in.
He can set himself up to now pressure Peyz and Jwo. I don't know if he's going to get a kill opportunity here, but he could at least burn some summoner spells. Kael leads the charge. Jwo already forced to flash away. The knockup doesn't find Peyz, but it does get the heal summoner spell also burned from Jwo just to maintain lane priority. Wait a minute. Peyz looks for the auto attack, the empowered auto, and Jwo gets the first kill of the game for JDG's side.
Dude, get Peyz a team, man. Please, for the love of God. What can this guy do wrong in this series? As, meanwhile, the rest of his team...
Xiaoxu is going to try and see if he can bail out Shun. He gets the blast shield. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and Xiaoxu benefits from the kill credit on the Flandre's corpse.
Very important that we were able to overheat there on the Rumble, or else that could have been grim. Flandre going to trade out, but they do get Tarzan to save his own red buff. And Shun, I mean, continues to have a very slow, delayed start here, as that has really been the focus from AL. Definitely a chance here if for Tarzan to find the double crab. We'll see if he reads it right. He sprints over to the top side. There was a small window where I thought maybe Shanks could help him out to get that crab, but Shanks did TP back later. But nope, not going to be the case. Feels pretty bad, though, if you're a jungler, Raafaa, and you're taking crab to hit level 3. That's kind of supposed to be level 4 with those.
I mean, Shun is relentless. He is not going to let the early deficits try and bring him down. But Tarzan smites away the red buff very intelligently, and Shun is denied an opportunity to try and steal a camp away, waste time looking for that opportunity. And if Shun continues trying to look for these high-risk, high-reward plays, on the one hand, I get it. you're trying to find something creative to answer to anyone's legend, but Tarzan is just so smart as a jungler. This really is one of the big raid bosses you have to go through in here in the lower bracket.
Gonna get back out on the map again ahead of Shun. You see a couple of discrepancies across the map as because Scout did get first blooded, he burned that TP instantly. That got Shanks a better recall this time around because he TP'd back with actual items. So Scout just had to walk back. Really curious to see if Scout's flash ends up being punished, because with the Wassandra, it's pretty good gank assist for a Jarvan, but Tarzan looking to use that Sivir push and maybe start an early dragon. We'll see if he gets the help of his bot lane here. I would love this for AL. Again, they have a lead in jungle. They have a lead mid. I think using this to delete the Drake before those grubs spawn is quite good as Peyz scouts it out. And yeah, JDG, they sniff what's going on. It's just the question is, can they stop it? And I think the answer is no.
Yep, it's the first dragon going very early on to anyone's Legends hands. It's a great way to set up the dragon stacking scenario and force JDG into an uncomfortable position come the soul point around the 20-minute mark at this point.
There we go with Shanks. Yeah, very positive Wisp trade. Very good walk forward there. As played there by Joao. Use Lulu at least do his best to get that most of that wave to Peyz's hands. Things will slow down here a little bit. I'm kind of waiting for 6 to come in for Shanks and to see if AL wants to play on the Scout, because there's a very small window where Scout has flash down and Shanks might have 6 as he just dinged it. So just curious to see if Tarzan was going to go there. He does not. Going to continue to farm and try and be as strong as possible for these grubs coming up.
A minute and a half before that objective does spawn. JDG. Been a very, very tough early game deficit that they've had to deal with. It hasn't really resulted in a large gold advantage for anyone's legend, at least for the sake of JDG, but those are some of the frustrations that JDG fans have had to deal with throughout the entire regular season of JDG. Just seeing some mistakes and follies, and one of the things that you asked for going into this third game is just hoping that JDG are able to find early game advantages that are not only decisive, but also not because anyone's legend are the ones making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, kind of hard to do that when you start off level 1 the way that JDG did.
Exactly!
As they're just on the back foot now for the entirety of this early game is what it feels like. Kael leeching XP off mid. We'll see if he's able to ding 6 off the next wave. He is behind Joao. Where Wild Growth can be quite impactful actually at some of these early fights. Especially, I think the target for him might actually be Shun on the Vi, which I think makes Vi being behind early even more painful. But we'll see how that ends up being used.
Big ultimates coming up now for anyone's legend. Kael not level 6 yet, but pretty much everyone else on his team is. Tarzan hanging around the top side, trying to protect Kael and Hope as they receive this wave. Xiaoxu and the rest of JDG corralling through the river as the 4-man squad from JDG catches the wave high.
No one's bot, by the way. We are just going to flip this. I mean, look, JDG, I think their comp really wants to fight grubs. You have a Rumble, yeah, you have a Vi, you have a Talia. It's a lot of guaranteed combos, but AL is stronger at the moment as a team. They're champs are, but they feel like they can maybe match.
Gotta
We'll
be
see if
careful
AL
about
can
who
pull
you
off the
select as a
setup.
target, though. Tarzan is starting to walk forward. Flandre looms as the seismic shove takes a huge chunk out of the Cassante. Decent damage. Here comes the equalizer that forces Hope to flash over it. Flash from Shanks sets up the combo. Frozen Tomb buys some time. Tarzan slams down the Cataclysm dunk, but it's the cease and desist from Shun that finds the answer back, and it's the fate of warfare secured for JDG. Their early game comp starting to show their strength here as anyone's legend now find themselves here on the back foot.
Yeah, fight's gonna continue.
Shun goes back in.
Ults.
Flandre gives his life for the all-out, and despite the early game woes from Shun and Scout, they rise to the occasion to overcome anyone's legend here in the river.
That was a good setup from JDG, and I mean, they got a pretty bad response from AL out. Like, Flandre and Shanks just kind of threw themselves in that brush for what? As Shun's gonna get one, but we have a TP coming in from Kael. And Tarzan might actually get 2 grubs off this. So it is a loss of kills early on. As the comp of AL, we didn't think it'd be stronger than JDG at the moment, but they were ahead of the game pace. That fight wasn't warranted, at least for the kills, but they come back, I mean, this is very ambitious from AL. You were walking into a control-warded brush blind. Peyz did use a nice killer instinct to get over the wall, join his team. This rumble ult, while not the most damage, it kind of locks AL in. Shanks does his best to go in. The wall from Scout was good. It cut off Flandre. And if Flandre is able to join for this fight, I think that's the world where AL might look to win. But because of the flashes that were used by JDG, a lot in retreat, AL did get a lot out of JDG from that play. I mean, 4 out of 5 flashes is significant. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see what AL can do to punish. Because, again, I see Lissandra, I see Jarvan, and I see flashes down. Like, that should be plays that could be made by AL to kind of slingshot back into this one. As they do lose out on gold in that play, even if they did win out of the grubs.
Peyz in particular has to be extremely careful if there's another fight that involves both squads head-to-head in a 5-on-5. No cleanse, no flash available. That means that is the big target for the Frozen Tomb.
And look, because the Drake and the grubs were split in their timers, this is something where JDG, like, we like their conditions now. They might look to take a dragon and, like, force the double Drakes here early. It's kind of curious how they decide to play around this one with Shanks, as at the moment we're kind of looking with the Jarvan and the Lissandra top to punish the Rumble. But they pull back on that. They did get Equalizer out. I mean, that's a small tool in order to try and hit this Drake. It's a Drake that I feel like JDG are kind of signing up to give. As they didn't have cease and assist, they just dropped the Equalizer top side. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think anyone's legend were poised for that collapse on the Xiaoxu. He burns the Equalizer, and now the Pandas say, hey guys, there's no Rumble ulti. We should just take this dragon. There's no way that they can compete with us now.
I think all the flashes being down again, just kind of dangerous for JDG. Really easy for AL with the Cataclysm and the Frozen Tomb to actually get in there and punish JDG when they don't have that very important Summoner spell up. So going to be a trade of objectives. A little bit of gold on the Xiaoxu. Whereas the second dragon goes over. And yeah, I mean, we wanted the boom boom damage Lissandra. A rocket belt is one way to do that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, Matt. I'm pretty happy to see that. That is an aggressive Lissandra if I've ever seen one. I am.
Yeah. That'd be like Morello.
Too. Yeah. I'm so glad it's not Roa. I'm so over scaling health builds. I want big damage. I want big burst. And when you think about if Lissandra's able to get resets off of the deaths of multiple members, then the Frozen Thralls come up, the White Walkers start just blasting JDG for extra burst damage. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, you need a lot more than a Valerian Steel Dagger to take down those White Walkers, because they do a lot of damage to you.
True.
As I mean, I think that if you're building Roa on the Sandra, you need to reconsider life. So I'm glad that glad that Shanks is at least not doing that. We already saw one Eclectic mid build today. I don't want to see a second one. And Scout actually might get caught here.
Almost at 50% HP. Yeah, and now he's below the threshold.
He's got a base. Yeah, he's got TP, so he can get back to that wave. But a decent tickle or a decent attempt there by Flandre, who does have that Kaenic Rooker.
Next objective, not for another 2 minutes. Uh-oh, Frozen Tomb locks down Shun. He sends the cease and desist. He's got Peyz and Zhuo in his back pocket. Xiaoxu's walking over, ready to drop the Equalizer and turn this jungle into an incinerator. But the rest of anyone's legend, they bail, and they give respect to JDG in the space.
And look, Scout TP'd. Once AL saw the TP, they actually called off the play. I love that from AL. They're going to get another TP out for that, because Xiaoxu has to answer this bot wave. So more conditions now gone from JDG. The next time we see Shanks and Tarzan attempt to play, that response is going to be available from JDG.
And you know what, Matt? If you want to make insane macro plays like anyone's legend just did, check out prodiff.gg using the code LPL10 to save 10% on your next one-on-one interview with a former or current pro from the LTA, the ERLs, or even the NACL. And they might be able to walk you through how brilliant that play was from anyone's legend.
Was a good one. See if AL can continue it. As, I mean, look, we've talked a lot about the Liss and the Jarvan. This is very clearly a bridge to the Sivir as well. And what I love about Lissandra is that she can create so much space for a champion like Sivir to auto-attack and get to work, you know? Just with the root, with the slow that she brings with the ult, whether she's going to use that on herself or an opponent. I really like this pick in this draft. Like, you can play defense into Vitalia. You open up more space for Sivir. You're good in the Talia. You're good in the Rumble. I feel like this is just such a great game to see with Sandra. I'm really happy to see some of our players, you know, digging deep into the bag of playoffs. Like, Talia has been such a problem champion for the entire year. I feel like this Wasander matchup has been there. I mean, I know Pobelter was playing it really well in NACL. A little bit different, but we did see it there. I just haven't seen it really get popularized globally until you get players like Knight playing it and Cubby, or I forget which LCK mid played it, but yeah, once that happens, obviously.
Was it Showmaker?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to guess at an LCK mid playing a weird pick, I'd guess Showmaker first, so let's be honest.
Seems on brand. Seems on brand for him. Rift Herald spawning in the next 5 seconds. Anyone's Legend still have a majority of the objectives on their side. JDG trying to see if they can be the first ones to answer and contest the objective in the pit. The rest of Anyone's Legend looking for priority from the mid wave, trying to now walk into the river point.
Scout yet. He doesn't have that completed item, right? Not even the evolved item, right? He's kind of surprised that AL gave, as they actually TP'd this bot, so they're just going to play for first brick and feats, yeah. I mean, I like it. Herald is power later, and they're going to take power now and secure power for the rest of the game in feats. I think it's a good call. They're going to burn both their TPs for this. But it's kind of a similar play that we just saw from JDG. It's just that AL actually got something out of their double TP, right?
Yeah, because you know that the power of the Rift Herald often nets you first brick. Anyone's Legend deny that opportunity as soon as they know that all 5 members from JDG was pretty much committed to securing that objective, and Anyone's Legend saying, okay, nice first brick. Oh, wait, we got it first. And now Anyone's Legend have the feats of strength on their side. They have the empowered tier 2 boots. They'll have access to the tier 3 boots. Anyone's Legend is doing everything they can to just withstand the early power curve that JDG have with this composition and get to the point where they will outscale them.
That was honestly really impressive from AL. I like that use of the double TP advantage. There's some Pandissimo power. We're looking at the words of Toad Amarillo there.
Shanks looking at the angle that he's looking for. Tarzan flash Cataclysm locks down Peyz into the pit, forces him to flash and cleanse away. Shanks now goes into the Frozen Tomb, creates space. It's only Xiaoxu on the front line trying to threaten as Tarzan follows the knock up onto Duo. And now the rest of JDG are forced to scramble. Here comes Scout trying to save the fight. Seismic shove doesn't hit anyone. Anyone's Legend is able to sidestep it, and now Duo disconnected from Peyz as Flandre comes in for the flank, looking for Scout. He still has a flash, not pressured to use it, but Anyone's Legend continue to win out on these fights.
That's the point. Again, like JDG, I've seen one fight from them in this entire series where they have taken a fight on where it's been even conditions across the map, and they've had better conditions to start the objective. I love this from AL. Like, again, look at the space that Shanks takes up in this fight. I know that the scoreline from Flandre in the last game was kind of grim. We did see a couple early fights where he misplayed on the Renekton, but in the later fights, we saw what he was able to do by taking up space in the middle and opening up space for Hope to just buy space and throw spells. This time, we got to close the gap. But look at what Shanks does to close the gap here. It's a Mikhail's and a cleanse out of Peyz as they burn both those tools there. That's significant later on because now, like, yeah, Shanks throws away his life, but look at Hope. He is a Sivir that was undeterred in the backline. Scout is late to the fight. And again, despite the best abilities of Peyz, this fight was already over really before all of JDG got there as AL take a favorable fight for themselves. And now they have Soul Point to threaten for the rest of the game.
It's still technically a gold advantage in JDG's pockets, but you look at the amount of objectives. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. Anyone's Legend, they're totally fine in this state. JDG, they're the ones that are pressured to try and create a snowball early, and time is running out.
You know what else I love about the Wisp pick? Not to continue to harp on this, but look at Peyz. You're playing Kai'Sa, right? You need to dive on this Sivir. We've seen a lot of successful Kai'Sa in the LPL get played into the champs, like Smolder, like Sivir, where, you know, if you synergize with the team, sync up, dive in the back line, you can win out. How hard is it to dive against the Lissandra when you don't have Cleanse, you don't have a Mikhail's? Lulu won't be in range for you to Mikhail's. So if that Cleanse is down, like, the Peyz has to wait for that Frozen Tomb to really even think about going in. And I think that, you know, we talked about the Kai'Sa and both agreed, Raafaa, that's a champ that AL should consider taking away. But when you're willing to play this in your back pocket, you'd love to see Kai'Sa on the map. Like, she dashes into your range, guess what happens? RQW, like, goodbye Kai'Sa, right? Don't have to worry about it. She doesn't have sums or conditions up.
Now Anyone's Legend find themselves 3 minutes away from securing Soul Point. Otacon spawning in just under a minute's time. I am so concerned for JDG that they're going to feel completely desperate and just start the Otacon on spawn. They're going to try and pull anyone's legend into them. And I don't know if they're going to have the decisiveness and the coordination to be able to outclass anyone's legend in that fight.
I mean, they've given us no reason to think so far today, Raafaa. Well, let's be honest. I mean, what have we seen so far? I like the Kael's rush from Zhuo, but you're down a redemption, now you're split. And goodbye, JDG.
Shun getting caught out by the
great
glacial
ward.
fissure.
Great ward.
No flash on this Vi, and it's just exemplarily play from anyone's legend, sniping the jungler of JDG off the map.
Sometimes it's just the little things, guys. Look at the 2 control wards that JDG have around the Otacon. The 3 control wards they have in the river. It is one well-placed ward in the river by Kael that completely scouts JDG out as they try and walk in. AL used that information to shut them down. Gonna use it to try and secure this Otacon and shut JDG out of this series in a clean 3-0.
I mean, JDG are going to try and force this against anyone's legend, but they're down a single man. No smite advantage. It's not to play for the Otacon, it's just to play for the fight. Equalizer's decent, but Shanks finds Scout, forces him to flash away, still has the Frozen Tomb in his arsenal, and it's the Otacon secured for anyone's legend. Now, everyone is backing off, giving respect to JDG and their ability to collapse. Shanks still has the Frozen Tomb available, and he has the Glacial Path to make his escape alongside the rest of the Pandas as Peyz trying to force something. Shoot is back for the Brave, goes for the Sheets assist. Multi-man knock up into the backline of anyone's legend. Do they have the damage defying them? Hope is the first one to fall. Peyz is trying to go crazy, but it's Flandre that puts an end to his carry potential. JDG take 2, but at what cost?
I mean, if JDG don't try anything there, I think they just get bled out of this game. They have a minute until the soul, but with that Otacon secured for AL, they didn't get a significant amount of flowers. I mean, I sitting at 25 is something. It's only a small XP differential. Tarzan's the only one that is really the big benefactor right now, and that's from much more than just Otacon, but yeah, I mean, I can't really look at that ward. That's the ward I'm talking about. Guys, there are 3 control wards for JDG in this setup. One very, very good ward by Kael completely scouts out the entrance from JDG as Shun gets picked apart, taken out. That smite down opens up the Otacon, and then this setup from Shanks. I love how disciplined Shanks has been with these Frozen Tombs. And we've seen him save them for himself, not on the singular target. One of the latest buffs to Liz was actually they gave her more healing back when you do self-ult. And the amount of space that Shanks has been able to buy with this has been so significant.
I mean, this is probably the best fight that JDG find in this game 3. And it just feels like it's too late, Matt.
I mean, it's kind of on Scout. Like, he had the base and TP back. I mean, I think that if you want to play that, like, you almost have to play it as a crew. And the only person he locked in was Sandra. And now you're playing for Hextech Soul. And look, if you give away Hextech Soul, I think that's just game. Like, that's Sivir list with a Hextech Soul. JDG, please fight this. Like, you can't go down with a whimper like this. You gotta flip it.
I definitely don't think that's not going to happen from JDG. They're going to go down with a fight, but I don't know if it's going to be a good one. Shun sends it, can't get the smite. The Hextech Soul secured by Tarzan, and now Scout is forced to flee. He doesn't even get a chance. Peyz is able to find Shanks in the crossfire, but Peyz, can he find the kills? As Flandre and Hope are the last 2 members standing, it could look good for JDG, as Peyz needs to find his moment. Gets burned nearly to low, and Peyz refuses to lose this series as he gives everything to keep JDG alive.
I mean, I'm just watching Peyz. This is like watching LeBron try and win with Matthew Dellavedova. If we're really reaching back in the bag, man. JDG have not been an awe-inspiring team today. Peyz has been an awe-inspiring player as he is doing everything that he can do to save his team and keep those Worlds chances alive for the maximum amount of championship points. But yeah, I mean, the spike doesn't land. Yes, Shanks melts. But the back half of this, I'm kind of curious to see what happened. I mean, Peyz has a great take here. This is a very aggressive ultimate to take on in. Scout was able to hold a pretty decent line, and I think Tarzan got a little bit split. Him going on to the Rumble there was definitely a mistake. I think if he saves that for when Peyz jumps in, we could have a different fight. But from there, Rumble, Lulu able to buy space, give JDG enough health in order to make sure that Peyz barely lives, but make sure that they take down the rest of AL. Look, I still think this one's grim. You gave away Hextech Soul. That's a permanent buff that you have to fight against as AL, and they still have a Sivir. But we cannot say enough good things about Peyz today and the really brand of League of Legends he's put on the Rift.
Once again, Peyz is doing everything in his power to keep this series somewhat hopeful for JDG fans everywhere. And even though Peyz is able to help nail an ace for JDG and find themselves a 3,000 gold advantage against anyone's legend, I need to see a lot more from JDG. Not just Peyz, but everyone needs to step up.
Dude, Peyz can't give anymore. Peyz can't play better. It needs to be everyone else, man.
Exactly. And anyone's legend has just been pound for pound across every other lane, just outclassing JDG when it matters. And anyone's legend now with the Hextech Soul in their inventory, on their side. Baron has spawned. This could be maybe the game-winning fight for either team.
I mean, I don't even, like, I still think it's just so hard to overcome Hextech Soul. I don't even care about the gold deficit. I see levels advantageous for AL or, like, close to even, and I see a Hextech Soul and I see a Sivir. Like, I'm still a happy camper. I mean, look at how hard it is for Peyz to navigate that. As Tarzan, that's not even a committal EQ, and they already got wild growth out of Zhuo just from the Hextech Soul slows. Like, yeah, you can just keep, like, you can fish with flags and try and find the slows, and these slows are very significant from Hex Soul. So, I just think that, like, the game was lost for JDG by not being able to secure that dragon.
We'll see if Peyz can be a miracle worker. He has been able to do it in series before.
He's playing Kaisa Lulu, man. Like, this is an eclectic lane, and he's still smurfing. Like, I know Lulu's good in the Braum. I like Kaisa in the Sivir, but playing Kaisa without an engaged support is at times crazy. And what Peyz is doing in this game it's pretty crazy.
I mean, here's the code. Vi is your support this game. Vi is your engaged tool. It's just like,
dude, I think Vi is my donkey this game. I feel like that's the closest thing that June is.
Damn.
What I'm seeing, yeah.
It has definitely not been a stellar series from Shun. Tarzan has outclassed him for pretty much, what do you want to say, 90%? 95%? Would you even dare say 100%?
I don't want to talk about percentages, Rob. I just want to enjoy what we've got coming out.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, whatever it is, fans can decide that one for themselves.
True.
It's been undeniable what we've seen so far, at least with the attempts.
Listen, as disappointing as it has been for some of the components here in JDG, anyone's legend has just been absolutely stellar in this lower bracket run. Getting knocked down early on by Weibo Gaming was a considerable upset.
Yeah.
But look at where anyone's legend find themselves now. They have returned to championship defending form. They are firing on everything that they've got to give themselves the best shot at auto-qualifying to Worlds. They're still, even if this series is a win, one series away. They would have to beat top esports in the lower bracket final.
And if they beat top esports, I mean, Tarzan's already beaten 2 BOG junglers on his way here, so we'll see if he can take down 2 more in the finals. But have to get through Kanavi first, as both those junglers want the right to take down some BOG junglers.
Yep.
And Kanavi definitely no easy task in the LPL. So, I thought Kanavi was outstanding in the last series against BLG. But see what happens in that series tomorrow. At the moment, AL still a few pieces away, and I mean, still have to secure the match, but you feel like with the Hexel, it's very heavily favored. I will say that Elder has spawned, and anything can happen when Elder is on the Rift, so.
Yep.
JDG tickling the Baron before Elder does spawn.
There's a ward on the Baron pit again. JDG trying to pull off this objective.
Yeah,
They're pulling off for now. Like,
the vision gap has been just astronomical in this series. Like, think about that pick on the Shun that led to the Otacon. That was vision gap. It was a good ward from Kael around 3 control wards. The Otacon game 1, that was vision gap. As Scout.
Cataclysm right on top of Scout.
They got his flash.
He's forced to flash away, but that is a worthy trade in anyone's Legends books there.
Look, if you're AL now with Tarzan, ideally, you clear out these waves, use Sivir to delete them, and then you just kind of wait for that Cataclysm to come back, and guess what? That's Scout no flash, so that's an easy target to get after.
Okay, Shun is trying to set up the sneak flank of all time.
That's the Omega flank, but
if
Shanks
he gets spotted, yep, Shanks spots him, and now anyone's legend knows where this Vi is located.
Shanks has been so good these past 2 games on Galio and Lissandra. It just feels like on these supportive mids, he's given his team so much space. Even the Annie marking Xiaoxu in game 1, like that was a game-winning play for me around that Baron, where he was able to kind of stymie the Ambessa. They couldn't get onto the Yunara. I think Shanks has been really on point, which is understanding his role. And I think that the champions that they've drafted has definitely helped. Has been very easy roles to identify, but Shanks has stepped into those very well, as now JDG They're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the heat. They can't walk into the Elder. Only play is to try and draw AL into the Baron. And this is not a good one for JDG, as they're going to be fighting down conditions.
6K on the Baron. 5K. The engage is forcing Shun to flash away. Equalizer on top of multiple AL members. Redemption heals them up.
It's a waste of an equalizer.
4K. Oh, here comes Shanks over the wall. Finds the frozen tomb engage. Shun forced to use the cease and desist into the backline as Peyz is surrounded by everyone. And the last hope that JDG had in their ranks is the first one to go down in what could be the victory march for anyone's legend.
I mean, I don't know what to say about JDG today. I feel like they were immensely vision gapped. I can only remember one objective setup that was actually good from JDG on even conditions. I won't give them this one on even conditions. I feel like the conditions of this game kind of forced their hand there. But if JDG want to actually go to Worlds, they really have to take a deep look at some of these objective setups. I mean, look at Shanks get around like, oh, Scout. They just didn't have a ward. His wall got blocked. He didn't stay disciplined there long enough to try and mark Shanks. And Shanks just finds the God angle on this Lissandra. As this fight was over pretty much exactly when it started. Peyz has to go golden to try and get out of whatever he can. But when he lands out of it, no one can help clear his space. And this is just a victory march for AL. Raafaa feels like that lower bracket debuff was maybe a buff and a wake-up call for this team, as the sleeping dragons of the LPL, our champions of Split 2, have really awoken here in the lower bracket.
It's been an emphatic display, returning to championship form at just the right time for the Pandas and anyone's legend. A sentiment about this team has been what was happening in the Split 3 regular season. Were they going to be able to become those masters again that we had saw that won them the Split 2 title? But now anyone's legend, they're leaving no doubts here on Summoner's Rift tonight, as they are now pushing into the base what could be the last game, the last series for JDG in this playoffs bracket.
Yeah, that's a lot to get through. Baron, Elder, and a Hex Soul. Best of luck, JDG, as this is going to be death by 1,000 cuts and a lot of Dragon Breath.
Tarzan sends it on to Shun. The Elder Dragon at their hands smites down JDG one after one. Not even Peyz was enough. Anyone's legend are just simply better. The journey continues to defend their crown, and anyone's legend are one series away from going to Worlds.
Taking care of business against JDG. I think it was very clear from game one who the better team was today, as AL just outclassed JDG in that series. Poor Peyz, man. I thought Peyz played out of his mind. I don't know if it's worthy of a higher Hoopa rating than Hope. He might get one just because everyone in the community feels so bad for what they watched in that series from Peyz. But for AL, and they get to face Top Esports in their route to go to finals. AL and Top Esports, if you combine our 3 splits of the LPL, or 3 regular seasons, they have been the 2 best regular season teams that we have had throughout the 3 splits. The difference between those 2 teams, that Top Esports had not been able to finish off a split since Split 1, where they weren't able to finish off an international tournament with a good performance. So AL has been the team that has been scaling, they've been driving, but man, anytime it's a Cubby versus Tarzan matchup, it's a treat in the LPL. So that'll be a fun one to see who can go up against the OG.
I mean, we're getting our Split 1 grand final rematch here in the lower bracket final, and the stakes are so grand. For Top Esports, if they even want a chance to auto-qualify the Worlds, they have to beat anyone's legend, and they have to beat BLG, get revenge for the upper bracket final this split. It's the only way, because if they were to lose against BLG in the grand final, anyone's legend still beats them in championship points. And for AL, it's just 1 series win before they are automatically in the biggest stage on the biggest tournament this year.
Man,